First of all, who's here? I mean, explain who this is.
Well, these are rescue animals that actually belong to me, that live permanently in this home, and then, as we'll see later, there are plenty of other ones who are just here temporarily while we wait for homes. But this is Chester, and we've had him for about 10 years. This is Munchkin. She's one of my more recent rescues.
What is Munchkin? She looks
She's a real mix. I think she's got Papillon in her, and a little Pekingese, and a little Pomeranian.
She's very sweet.
It's an absolute love bug.
And then
adorable.
down here, chewing on himself. Who's that?
That's Ariel.
Hello, Ariel.
And she's been with us for about 6 years, and she was rescued from a dumpster. She was found in a dumpster. And
when you say
she didn't look like that when we got her.
Well, she's beautiful. She has beautiful eyebrows.
Yeah.
When you say rescue, where do you find these animals?
Well, these animals come from all over. Pet Connect Rescue primarily rescues animals from rural southern areas where the shelters are overcrowded and they have no resources and no place to put them. So we pull those animals into rescue.
Pet Connect started when?
3 years ago.
What prompted it?
Well, it really started because I used to take my dogs to pick up my kids at school. And people would come up to me and say, "Oh, what a beautiful dog. Where did you get that dog?" And I'd say, "Well, this was a rescue." And they'd say, "I didn't know you could get dogs like that in rescue." And I started to realize that I needed to get the word out that they're wonderful animals in shelters waiting for homes. They're purebreds, they're mixed breeds, there's just puppies and older animals, and they're all waiting. And so I thought this would be a good way to encourage people to step forward and adopt. And we try to make the process a little bit easier.
And Roscoe, come here. Come here, Roscoe. This is come here,
Roscoe.
Come on, Roscoe.
Sweet pea.
This is another rescue. This is a nice one with a handsome fellow. What is Roscoe?
We think Roscoe, we call him a wild field spaniel cross, but we think he's a mixture of Cocker Spaniel and maybe Afghan because of the coloring in his face.
He's got pretty freckles.
Yeah, he's actually a Katrina rescue.
He is?
He came up.
So he's from New Orleans.
He's from New Orleans.
You can speak Cajun?
Well, you could try and see what happens.
No, I'm not very good at it. How many did you rescue from Katrina about?
About 150.
And how many did you replace?
With their original homes?
Yeah.
Not very many. We had about 5 families. That's all. We had 2 families who determined that these were their animals, but they asked us to keep them because they just couldn't manage and asked us to find homes for them. And the rest we adopted out.
And so 150 animals came all the way from the Louisiana and Mississippi.
Yep.
And now they live in the Maryland area.
Maryland, D.C., Virginia, somewhere around here, yeah.
So how do you, with Pet Connect, if you want a dog, what do you have to do? Because I know that sometimes when you adopt dogs, it's a very difficult procedure.
I think it is, and we try to make it easier. What we do is we pull the dogs from shelters and we put them into foster homes. And once they're in a foster home, we get to really know them. Like you can see, I have some here that are in foster. And so when they're in your home, you can see whether they're good with cats or whether they're good with other dogs, if they're super friendly or if they're super shy. So that when someone comes to us to adopt, we can clearly say this is this kind of an animal, dog or cat, and it makes the adoption process much easier, much less stressful.
Do the foster home people ever keep the dogs?
Yes.
So
that's one of our biggest problems. They fall in love with them. So whenever we take a dog or cat to a foster home, we say, please don't fall in love too much. You can love them and care for them, but please don't, because we need the foster homes. They're the backbone of our organization.
How many foster homes do you have?
You know, at any one time we may have 10, but it changes all the time. And people step forward and then they adopt, or maybe they're going away for spring break so they can't.
So have you quantified how many rescue dogs you've placed over time?
You know, that's a good question, and I wish I could give you a number. I think we pull in about 5 or 6 each week, but each animal takes a tremendous amount of work and effort and care because they have to be vetted. They usually come up sick, dirty. They need to be groomed. They need to be fed. Some of them are just not ready to go immediately into homes. So we care for them. We place them, and then we promote them. Oh, here comes
Dante.
Here comes Dante.
Dante's a rescue.
Yourself.
Come here, Dante. Come here, Dante. Dante is a rescue?
He certainly is.
Oh,
he was at a shelter, and he was very young, actually, when I got him. And he was turned back in twice. I guess he was just so full of beans, full of energy, that people didn't want him. And after an animal's been returned twice to a shelter, often they just decide to euthanize him. And so someone called me and told me about him, and I said, I'll take him. And here he is. And Roscoe's scratching.
And so Dante
himself.
moved in with the house. Dante, rather than be euthanized, he moved in here.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
What's your problem, Roscoe? What are you barking about?
He says, I'm liking all this
Now,
excitement.
Roscoe's a rescue. He moved in. Mm-hmm. What about Munchkin?
She moved in, too.
Chester moved in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see some of the other, because some of the rescue animals are here. Oh, and Ariel
Absolutely.
moved in.
Right.
All right,
And then we have the other ones in the other room.
all right, let's go see what we have here in terms of the animals. Now, people who donate to Pet Connect, people oftentimes wonder, you donate, $100, how much money goes towards the dog, how much goes towards administration? Have you figured that out?
Oh, yes. 100% of what gets donated to Pet Connect goes to the animals.
All right.
We're all volunteers.
All right, so that's great. So 100%, you donate $1 and a dollar gets spent on
and
the
it
animals.
makes a huge difference. Every dollar makes a difference.
Now, this one I particularly like. This doll right here, I don't know if you get the camera on it. I thought this was a crate without a dog in it, with just a stuffed animal.
Yeah.
Can I open this?
Absolutely.
All right,
That's Tiger.
This is Tiger. Come here, Tiger. Come here, sweetie pie. No, Tiger is what?
Tiger is a Pomeranian, and his owners died. His owner died, actually, and he has a sister who's also his age. They're both 17 years old. They're incontinent. He's a sweet, sweet dog, and we stepped forward and decided to keep him.
All right, because he's harder to place. He's incontinent and an
He
older
is harder
boy.
to place. Someone might still come forward, but we feel like this is something that we can do, so he is in permanent foster care with us, and we take care of him.
And he sleeps a lot.
He does sleep a lot.
I think that's why I thought he was a stuffed animal when I
He's
first
just
looked in the
freshest
cage.
little dog.
All right, there you go, Tiger. There. He's a handsome fella. I'm closing this on you, Tiger. Although I don't think you're going to run any place.
No, I don't think so
I
either.
think Tiger's going to take a nap. This is one of the rescue dogs.
This is Trixie.
Hello, Trixie.
Trixie's a little blind dachshund.
She's blind?
She's blind. She was blind from birth. And we're going to take Trixie to an eye specialist and see if they can do anything to restore her sight.
Well, where was Trixie found, or how was she rescued?
She was turned into a shelter twice. This little dog was, first they were afraid she was going to be trampled by horses that were on the property. And then she kept falling into a pond. So they said, we just can't take her. So she ended up at the shelter.
Wait, she's blind.
She's blind. She's completely blind.
How old? Do you have any idea how old she is?
She's only a year. She's just a young little girl, and she's sweet, precious. So she's my foster, and I hope I can find her a good home.
Who is this?
That is Rascal.
Rascal, not to be confused with Roscoe.
Rascal because he's a rascal. When you put your socks on in the morning, he goes and pulls them off.
He does? He's a rescue.
He's a rescue. He came in recently, and he was quite ill. In fact, Lois had to take him to the emergency room at 5 o'clock in the morning because he was so sick when he first came in. And now he's absolutely fine, healthy, and ready to go to a good home. And he was just one of many animals that was taken to a shelter and didn't have any hope. We pulled him when he was about to be euthanized also.
So the shelter called you up and said, what, we have this beautiful beagle and we're going to euthanize him, or how does it work?
Well, actually, it's very interesting. What happens is we get emails daily with pictures of the animals, short descriptions of them, and basically, the dog is getting his leg tangled up. Basically, these are the sort of the last chance. They're reaching out and they're saying, can you help with any of these, because they have no more time left. And what we do is we look at the animals in the emails, and we know who has come to us looking for a particular kind of an animal. Maybe they're looking for a small dog who would be good with a family, so Rascal would be a good match for that. Or maybe they're looking for an older dog for an elderly parent. Maybe they're looking for a kitten or a cat that gets along with other dogs. And so we have these names of people who we know are looking for animals. We have animals that we know need homes, and we connect the two, and we make sure we have foster homes for them to go to, a landing place, and fosters are really the backbone of our organization.